UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. This is the coming great deception. However, when we go up, they come down. When we go up, they show up. I'm your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Special report here from InfoWars. Special report. They're saying exclusive, something big is about to happen. U.S. intel agencies and the FBI preparing for a massive alien transdimensional disclosure. We'll see. We've heard things like this before. I can't possibly vet any of this. Alex Jones has an incredible network. He's never had me on. That's okay. Obviously, people have access to grind. Not saying he does, but I just find it interesting. Anyway, coming to you from an undisclosed location, somewhere deep in the heart of the Santa Monica Mountains, I am your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli, and we'll get into this. But first, a word from our very trusted sponsor. You probably think your 401k is safe, that it's growing, that it'll be enough for your retirement. But what if it's not? Here's the truth, folks. Your 401k was never designed to make you wealthy. It was created in a corporate boardroom to shift retirement costs and investment risks onto you. Designed to keep your money trapped, exposed to Wall Street crashes, inflation, and uncertainty you can't control. Until now. Folks, Americans are taking back control by turning to real assets like gold. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands protect your future by converting part of their retirement savings into physical gold. Talk to Noble Gold today and learn how safe and easy it is to roll over your 401k into a tax-advantaged gold IRA without penalties or headaches. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit, including a step-by-step guide to get started. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. It's time to get your money out of the danger zone and into something real. And folks, get rewarded for getting started. Open a qualified account at noblegoldinvestments.com, and Noble Gold will send you 2 5-ounce Silver America, the beautiful coins free. Once again, folks, noblegoldinvestments.com. So you can see the headlines here. Something big is coming, and we see this. My cursor is going to show it to you right over here. So what, pray tell, is that? Let's read, and let's just watch what they're saying here.
And this 3-eye atlas, what he's saying about it is it has larger, it's certainly larger than anything we've seen, and it doesn't have the gaseous trail of a typical asteroid and things of that nature. So he's saying, my hypothesis is it's intelligently controlled. Now, it's one thing to put it out there as the hypothesis, but if you're talking about the top man at the Harvard Astrophysics Lab, then you're talking about somebody who swings a lot of weight. And what they're looking for, they want to really data mine the issue. And they did this with the drone piece just before Trump came in December into early January. We had this incredible drone run. They need that data, just like they're trying to add NORAD to the NDAA this year in relation to the UFO file. They didn't do that before, but they're trying to do that under the UAP Disclosure Act, which, by the way, is headed up by that titan, that champion of freedom, Chuck Schumer, out of New York. So, these aren't the people you want leading a transparency movement, that is for sure. One of the things I think about the Schumer amendment,
I'm going to stop it right there. So the bottom line is this, and let's go back to the top deal here. So this is, in my opinion, I would call this hyperbole. So in the sense that it's clickbait. People go, oh my gosh, we're going to be invaded, blah, blah, blah. I will tell you this, that something is holding this phenomena back. There's no doubt about it. This cat and mouse game has been going on literally for decades. I am a ufologist. I am. I've been studying this phenomena for decades. As I've said this before, I've been kicked out of churches, literally, for talking about UFOs, for my belief that this phenomenon is real, that it is demonic, it is interdimensional. In our 10-box DVD set, I'm just going to, shameless plug, but there it is. Gil Zimmerman and I work feverishly to get these out. And there's 10 DVDs here. And something to think about, folks. I'm actually doing the best of the UFO series, and we'll probably release that, I don't know, within a month or two, because we're just going to cherry pick some of the most poignant interviews and put them in the show. So, something is coming, something is happening. I get that. For those of you who have followed me for any length of time, you know that I believe there's going to be a nuclear event somewhere on the planet. Now, Russia has already threatened to use nukes. Iran is that close away from developing a nuke. Who knows? You've got rogue nations. You've got some very bad actors out there. Anything is possible. And this goes back into our interview with Robert Salas years ago with the late Richard Shaw, my former business partner. And we broke the story with Robert Salas. Since then, he's come forward, History Channel did a whole thing with him on ancient aliens and everything else. But we interviewed him first. Why? Because we promised him that he could look at the final cut of his interview, and if he didn't like something, we would change it. We had no problem with that. And he looked at it, and he loved it. When I interviewed Robert Salas, during that interview, he broke down in tears several times. He was traumatized by what he saw. For those of you who don't know, Robert Salas was the commander at the Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana. And this goes back decades and decades and decades. A 60-foot UFO that was pulsating bright orange over the gate, and just said the guys, the security people were totally freaked out. Robert Salas is down about 60 feet in the command center. There are 10 intercontinental ballistic missiles. For those of you who don't know what they are, those are nukes. And they were in a silo. And when you blast that rocket up, it comes out of the silo and flies to Russia or wherever you want it to fly to. All 10 were shut off just like that. How is it possible? Because these entities, number one, are interdimensional. Number two, they can manipulate space, time, matter, and energy in ways that completely defy our physics. So I believe, and people go, why? They're here to save us. Why are they here? Why are they so concerned about nukes? Conjecture? I wrote about this in Rungs of Disclosure. I mean, there's such a corpus of work here, I could only scratch the surface on so many levels, and then, that's it, right? But the bottom line is this. They are concerned with nukes because they know that's their trigger. They know that this is why they're waiting. You go back in 1945 to get Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Then all of a sudden you get the Foo Fighters flying over Germany, flying over Japan, right? All that stuff. They know something's up. They know their time's about to happen. Then you get the Roswell crash in 47. 1948, Israel becomes a nation. I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers. Those of you who have an amillennial belief system will never understand this. Those of you who think the church is Israel, replacement theology, good luck with that. The church is not Israel. Israel is Israel. That's where they're back in the homeland. Read Amos 9, 14, 15. And try to allegorize that. You can't. I will bring back the captives of my people, Israel. They will build away cities and inhabit them. They will plant vineyards and drink the wine from them. They will also plant gardens and eat the fruit from them. I will plant them in their land and never again pluck them out of the land that I'm giving them. That does not give Israel a free pass. They're just as corrupt as any other nation on the planet. There's all sorts of skullduggery happening. Who knows the depth of it? But they are God's prophetic time clock. I can't say it enough. But if you hold to replacement theology, you'll never understand that. So you can already check off basically 1.2 billion Catholics. 1.2 billion Catholics believe in replacement theology. The church is Israel. No, the church is not Israel. The church is the church. Israel is Israel. And once you go down that road of figurative interpretation, not literal interpretation, you never understand the Bible. You just can't. Because we're taken up. It's a time of Jacob's trouble. Jacob. Not Bob, Fred, and Ernie. Jacob, that's Israel. They're back in the homeland. So they're waiting. The fallen ones are waiting. They know that their trigger is some sort of nuclear event on the planet. Now, in 45, when they set off Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we weren't connected. Yeah, you saw the front line, front page picture of the newspapers. 3 or 4 days later, you have a nuclear device going off anywhere on this planet. We are all connected via the internet right now. You're experiencing it, right? You have a nuclear event going off, the grid lights up, that's it. That's when they show up. And I believe that will trigger the rapture of the church. I could be wrong on this, but that's what I'm going with. So something big is coming. We'll see what it is. We've not been given a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. That's what I'm walking in. And the Lord's in control. Who is the restrainer? Is the restrainer that holds all this back? the Holy Spirit in the believer? Think about that. I believe it's so. So if we're taken out, the restraint is no longer here because the Spirit of the living God is no longer here. That's when they manifest. They will say, we created all life on this planet. We genetically manipulated early man. We started the world's religions, started the world's earliest civilizations. Now, at this critical juncture, we are back, so-called ET, but these are not extraterrestrials. They are fallen angels. They are the watchers. They are in a fixed state, and they do not have our best interests at heart. We created all life on this planet. We genetically manipulated early man. We started the world's religions, started the world's civilizations. Now at this critical juncture, we are back to usher mankind into a golden age. Oh, and by the way, we took those pesky Christians out of here. Why? This is channel information. When you order anything, you can get 3 or 4 of these. What is the truth? They're tracks. I want to thank my friend Brad Myers for helping put this together. Lindy Pierce and the friends over Rosie Drubb that did all the track work for this. The guys did a great job. This is channeled information, which means it comes from a off-world source, which is certainly not Christian in any way, shape, or form, through what is called either automatic writing or channeling. Channeling is when a person goes into a trance and that allows an entity to come in and possess them. Not full possession, but temporary possession. There is a potential for many people to leave the planet in an afternoon. The people who leave the planet during a time of earth changes do not fit here any longer and are stopping the harmony of the earth. Folks, there it is. In their words, from the other side of the aisle, that's what they're waiting for. I've said this before, but I have to say it again. When I was in the New Age 50 years ago, I was 25 years old. I was immersed in the New Age, immersed in the occult, vision quests, spirit guides, the whole deal. I heard this 50 years ago, 5 decades ago, that when the space brothers would come, certain people would not be ready for the paradigm shift and they would be taken off-world. Now, you tell me, and here we have channeled information is in our track. lamarzulli.com. If you want to, check out any of our videos, there's 34 videos. That's streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net. 34 videos. You can watch any video for about $4.99. Don't forget, before I go, Holy Shroud, Holy Fire. Groundbreaking. And I will be at the Prophecy Watchers Conference in October, and I will be talking about this very thing, the Holy Fire of the Holy Shroud. I believe the Shroud of Turin is God's calling card, absolutely. And it bears the image of a crucified man. God's calling card right there. Not a hoax, not a medieval forgery. That's all nonsense. And in our film, we demonstrate that. Before I go, that film, Holy Shroud, Holy Fire, we talk about the Shroud of Turin. We talk about the Sudarium of Oviedo, which is a face cloth that wrapped Jesus' head, face cloth that wrapped Jesus' head as he was taken down from a cross for respect of the dead. That's the napkin that's folded up and lay next to the body, not part of a shroud. There are over 100 points of congruency between the Sudarium of Oviedo and the Shroud of Turin. Think about that. The Sudarium has been in Spain since the year 700, since the 7th century. How does that work? That blows the whole carbon-14 dating. And we know from the carbon-14 dating that only one piece was taken from the corner, and that was a reweave. It was a patch job, and that's why the date came up, 15th century. But when you go on like Snopes or any of these fact-checking things, that's what you hear. They dismiss the evidence that they don't want to listen to that would point to the shroud being the authentic burial cloth of Jesus of Nazareth. I believe it is God's calling card, and that's what I have come to call it. Thanks so much for coming here, folks. Before you go, hit the subscribe button. Also, right next to the subscribe button is the join button. And for $10 a month, actually $9.99 or whatever, you can become a member. And when you're a member, you get sort of, first of all, you get 10% off everything in the store. You get the monthly news magazine, right? And you get special content. And I'll be doing a special content with Area 51 this week. So you want to stick around, join it, become a member. It helps us do what we do here. And I want to thank you for your patronage already. Folks, we also have a Patreon account. And when you join Patreon, you get the members only stuff also. And you also get if you reach a certain level in Patreon, I think it's $20 a month. I do a 1-hour Q&A with the Patreons, with the patrons every single month. You can sign up for it. Look below. It's all right there. Thanks so much for your support. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow with another show.